Welcome to the Team AGV product guides. I'm going to run you through some of the features and specifications of the AGV Corsa. The Corsa is the sister helmet of the AGV Pista GP, which is the top of the range full carbon helmet used by Valentino Rossi, Guy Martin, etc. Basically, the main difference between the Pista and the Corsa is the Pista utilises a full carbon shell, whereas on the Corsa we use a mixture of aramid fibres, carbon and fiberglass, so a tri-composite shell. The other main difference is in the ventilation system. The Corsa has switchable vents on the front of the helmet, whereas the Pista, you've only got the option to either run them closed or open with a bung system. Now, the Corsa and the Pista were developed at exactly the same time, so they share a huge host of features. Now, the Corsa is a true race helmet, and because of that, AGV used what they call AGV standards to develop the helmet. That's where the helmet's designed from the inside out. So AGV start with the rider's head and work outwards, and because of that, the Corsa is available with 4 shell sizes. What that means is you've actually got the same thickness of inner linings, the same comfort padding, regardless of whether you've got an extra small or an extra large. So the helmet retains the same comfort, and obviously as the rider gets smaller with the smaller head, so the helmet itself gets more petite and a bit lighter. Now, obviously this is a race helmet, so a lot of the features were developed with high speed in mind. So that's the ventilation system and the aerodynamics. The aerodynamics of the helmet are actually pretty obvious. You can see what the helmet's been designed to do. First of all, on the front of the helmet, you can see this very pointed aerodynamic chin bar. Now, what that's designed to do is when you're riding a race bike, obviously you're going very fast, but quite often you're tucked in behind the screen. So when you come out from behind the screen to get on the brakes, anything up to 200 miles an hour in MotoGP, it's really important that the helmet stays stable on your head and doesn't move or doesn't push back on the face. So that's why you've got this very arrow-like chin bar to cut through the air. The second and most obvious thing is the actual shape of the helmet itself, and this huge aerodynamic clear spoiler on the back of the helmet. What that's designed to do is flow the helmet off the back, flow the air off the back of the helmet in a very smooth way, makes the helmet very, very stable, minimises drag and minimises lift. So the helmet's very, very comfortable at high speed, and you won't have any wobbling around or any movement of the helmet trying to pitch up or down on your head, so it stays exactly where it's designed. The next thing that's really important is the ventilation system. Obviously, when you're racing, you generate a hell of a lot of heat. So it's really important that the helmet flows a lot of air to pull that heat away from the rider's head, help the helmet stay comfortable even in the hottest conditions. So what you'll see quite unique on the Corsa is 3 large vents on the front. Now, this vent in the middle is actually designed to be at the point of highest pressure on the helmet. What that means is even though the vent looks fairly small, it does flow a massive amount of air inside into the AGV integrated ventilation system. What that means is we've actually got channels hollowed directly through the inner EPS shell and 2 large ducts right built into the shell across the top of the helmet. The vents themselves are switchable, very easy to operate with gloved hands, very positive, open and closure, and again for the middle. Now, because the vents are independent, it means you can actually adjust the ventilation. Sometimes you want all 3 open for maximum airflow. Other times you'll just want the middle one open for intermediate airflow, or you can shut that one down and have the 2 side vents open. So you can really adjust the ventilation as you're riding along to get the perfect level of comfort. On the front here, you've got this integrated chin vent, you can see, which is operated with the thumb, with the switch on the inside of the chin bar. What that does is there's no mechanism here to interrupt the airflow, so it helps the helmet stay nice and quiet, helps with the aerodynamics, and it means there's nothing to get damaged up on the front of the helmet. Obviously that flows air into the face and also blows some air up inside the visor to help with demisting. On the rear of the helmet, you've got 2 very large Venturi vents on the back. What that does is actually extract the hot air away from your head at the same speed as the air is going in the front. So very smooth airflow right the way through the helmet. Keeps you nice and cool even in the worst conditions. Now, the other thing that's really important from a race helmet is the visor system and the aperture of the visor, so to actually help you see where you're going. Now, what we've got on the Corsa is a massive visor aperture. It sits very high on the head, and what that means is when you're in that race and tuck position, you can actually still see where you're going when your head's pitched down. We've also got a very, very small base plate, which I'll show you in a minute. That's enabled AGV to have a massive area for peripheral vision. So very, very strong peripheral vision, which helps riding on the road just as much as it does on the track. Now, the visor itself is constructed from 3.3mm optical class A polycarbonate. Being 3.5mm thick, it minimises any risk of any foreign object blasting through the visor at very high speed, so it really adds to the safety of the helmet. The other thing that's really important for racing is the fact that the visor locks down. The visor now is in the fully down position and it's locked. That means there's no way that visor can open up. That means if you're moving your head around when you're on the bike, it's not going to flush open. And also if you do have an accident going the gravel trap, the visor is going to stay put. You're not going to get a face full of gravel. The other cool system with this is when we shut the visor, you'll hear it's actually got two positions. The first click locks the visor into an intermediate position. That leaves a gap all the way around the bottom, which helps air flow in. Again, helps with demisting the visor. The next click down and the visor is fully locked. Very easy to open the visor. You just push the lock in, open the visor up. Very, very simple. Now, the visor on the Corsa comes pin lock ready and it comes with a pin lock in the box, so you've got no problem with the visor misting up. You'll also get inside the box with every Corsa a pack of tear-offs, and the visor is tear-off ready. You've got the post on the outside, so you can actually go and race in the helmet straight out of the box. So to take the visor off, it's a really easy and a really clever system from AGV. First thing is the mechanism is actually on the visor itself. So to take the visor off, you pull the wing down and lift the visor off. Take it round to the other side, again lower the wing and pull the visor off. You'll actually see there the mechanism itself is on the visor, not on the helmet. The mechanism is metal and the base plate on the helmet is metal, so very, very strong lock to the helmet when the visor's on. The mechanism itself is what we call a rotor lock. What that actually does is as you shut the visor, it pulls the visor very firmly into this big gasket right around the visor aperture. So a very good lock. It prevents any air coming in through the visor, helps keep the noise down and prevents any moisture coming in as well if you're riding in the wet. So to put the visor back on, equally as simple, all you do is pull the wing down into the open position. You drop the visor over the base plate and push the wing up. Show you again on the other side. Just pull that wing down, locate the visor onto the base plate and push it up, and then just verify that the visor shuts properly. Easy peasy. So really cool visor system on the Corsa. Now that's the cool features on the outside. Next thing we're going to talk about is the features on the inside, just as important as the outside really and just as unique. So what I've got here is an interior of the Corsa removed, so I can actually show you what's so cool about the inside of the helmet. First thing you can see is the headlining. This piece here doesn't have any stitching. It's made from one piece of foam, so it's very, very soft and very comfortable. But the most important thing is the ability to customize the helmet or custom the fit. Now with the 4 shell sizes, we've actually got 2 medium sizes available in the Corsa. You've got a medium small, which is a size 57, and a medium large, which is a size 58. So a big spread of sizes, so you can get the right size in your dealer. Then when you get the helmet home, you can actually tune the fit to the shape of your head to get the optimum level of comfort. This is achievable with what we call the rabbit's ears. These 2 foam blades across the top of the helmet. You can actually adjust the position that these 2 blades sit. Now out the box, they'll come in this middle position here, where you've got the padding towards the middle of the rear of your head. Now you can move these out to the edge. What that does is move the padding round to the side of your head, gives a little bit more space in the back, and that enables your head to sit up a little bit higher into the helmet and a little bit further back. So it'll take some of the pressure off the forehead and some of the pressure off the cheeks, and it will, for all intents and purposes, drop the helmet down slightly on your head. The other thing you've got is this pocket at the back. You can see in here we've got this piece of foam fitted in. This actually comes in the bag with the instructions with the helmet. You can then insert this piece of foam into this pocket on the rear of the headlining. What that will do is tighten the helmet up around your forehead, because obviously you've got more padding in the back, and tighten it up around the rear at the base of your skull at the top of your neck. Finally, the other thing you can do with the headlining is use these removable foam discs to adjust the pressure on the front and the rear of the helmet. So you can take those discs out, and that's going to reduce the pressure slightly on the frontal area of the helmet, make it feel a bit softer across the front, or you can take them out the back and it's going to do the same thing, reduce some of the pressure at the back. Or you can take all 4 out to lower the helmet slightly on your head. So really you can keep tuning this helmet to get the fit absolutely perfect for the shape of your head. It doesn't matter whether you've got an intermediate oval, an oval or a round head, you can really tweak the Corsa down perfectly to make it fit you properly. The next thing you can do is on the cheek pads. This is the cheek pads removed here. You can see you've then got a slit in here and a gap, which you can then insert these pieces of foam which fill in the gap around your ears to give you a full race fit. So you can completely change the fit on the cheek pads as well. So the helmet comes with all the pieces of foam in with the instruction manual in the helmet, so you can completely tune it round. Really, for more information on the Corsa, to find the full specification, to have a look at the full range of colours and to find your nearest Team AGV dealer, please head to agv.co.uk.